Okay, we're ready to go. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second governing board meeting of the AWARE initiative. My name is Nicolas Franke. I'm the head of the Global Processes and Water Policy Unit at the World Meteorological Organization. Today's meeting aims to present the latest advancements of the initiative and showcase how the implementation plans for each work stream are being developed based on the country responses. We have the representatives of the leading organizations who are helping the countries on the way forward in implementing the initiatives through the acceleration work streams. And we have also the representatives and the ministers of the different countries collaborating under the AWARE platform, who will, of course, have the opportunity to reflect and discuss the advancements of the initiative and the collaboration among their partners. So without further ado, I would like to give the floor to His Excellency, the Minister of Water Irrigation of Egypt, His Excellency Mr. Swelem, for your opening remarks.
Good afternoon, Excellencies, colleagues, friends. I hope you are enjoying the Cairo week, and we also were kind of very happy to see so many participants, so many interested partners, and I think and appreciate
قنوات وخلاص.
انتوا بتحطوا السماعه support this event. It has become a platform to really start discussing and coming up with ideas to be implemented. But this session, our topic is that AWARE. AWARE stands for Action for Water Adaptation and Resilience. One of 5 global initiatives that were launched during the COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh in November 2021, 2022, sorry. And we took it from there, from Sharm el-Sheikh, and we started with the support of our partners. Some of them are present here. The key players are sitting with us in the room. And we started to promote the awareness. We have faced some challenges during spreading and disseminating the idea of doing actions on the ground. Some political sensitivity from some countries in the Nile Basin or others, but honestly, we did not want to complicate it. We wanted to make it as simple as possible. It's not about if you join the AWARE, it's not a legally binding document. You just express interest and let us work. Because we lose the momentum always when we keep talking about legality and the wording and the editing, and it takes years. And we know from the experience, at least in the Nile Basin, that we spent years and years discussing some edits and some sentences. But AWARE should not follow the same approach. Just express interest. It has 6 pillars. If you want to contribute in only one, please do. Let us start, let us implement, let us do something on the ground without this sensitivity or political complexities. And I think that was the key success of this initiative, because after less than 2 years, we have now a coordination hub in Geneva, thanks to the WMO for hosting it in Geneva. We were committed in the text as a government of Egypt to offer the initiative a training center in Cairo. We did. So huge training center. I encourage all of you to visit, and you will be listening to some of the activities that were already implemented. A training center that has all the facilities required for capacity building, including labs, computer labs, physical labs, training halls, hotel, swimming pool, sports facilities. All of that is available now under the name of Pasqua, which was in the original document one of our commitment to implement. And it's not only existing infrastructure. We have successfully completed training for 200 of our African junior professionals. These are the ones that are already being trained in this sector. We secured the funding for training 3,000 professionals from Africa over the coming 3 years. So as I always say, money is not the issue. The issue is to have the platform, the correct and the right platform and the right partners and the momentum and the motivation, the spirit of cooperation, and then money will come. I'm always believing in this concept. So as I said, we secured already funding for training 3,000 of the African water professionals over the coming 3 years. In the 6 pillars of the AWARE initiative, we have already the commitment and the good contribution of 4 UN agencies, big UN agencies, thanks to all of them. The WMO, of course, full support from day one as a co-founder of this initiative, the host, the coordination hub in Geneva, but they also support one of the pillars. The FAO is also supporting and coordinating one of the pillars. The UNDP is taking another pillar, the UNESCO, and there was also a UNESCO declaration over the previous period supporting and recognizing the AWARE as one of the important actions for water adaptation and resilience. So all of these happen in less than 2 years. As I said, just because of the momentum, keep it simple, keep it easy. Don't be worried about legally commitment or legally binding text. Just let us collaborate and let us work. We have the first steering committee meeting in Dubai in the COP28. We're now having the second meeting for the AWARE, and I'm not going to speak more than this, and I'm going to leave you to comment on that and tell us what is your plan with the AWARE in the coming period. Thank you again, thank you to the supporting partners and all the countries who joined the AWARE. I forgot to tell you that the countries who joined the AWARE through their endorsements now reached 30 countries already send us the letter of commitment or letter of intent that they are part of this, and I'm happy to have some of the ministers who are already part of the AWARE, and some of them we were expecting, but it seems that they are somewhere in the building. Okay, thank you very much, and I'm very happy to be in this event and continue the work with you in the AWARE initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. My major takeaway was let's not focus on words but on action, and we'll hear from our leading partners how actually this is now being put into action and how we are trying to unlock the funding that is necessary. Now I would like to give the floor to Stefan Ulmbrook. He's the director of the Water, Cryosphere and Hydrology Division at the World Meteorological Organization for his opening remarks. Stefan, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. Excellencies, colleagues, friends, pleasure to say a few words here at the beginning. My name is Stefan Ulmbrook with WMO, yes. WMO hosts the coordination hub of the AWARE initiative, and also, again, a big thank you to the leadership of Egypt in the shape of Professor Svilan. We are hosting this coordination hub since the beginning of the year, and without the support also and the collaboration with Egypt, this would be impossible, and it's really a pleasure doing this. Why do we have a coordination hub? And I think the strength of AWARE is that it's not a complicated setup, as Professor Svilan just explained. It's not legally binding being partner of it, but it's not legally binding, but it is interesting to engage, it's interesting to perform and to collaborate. That does need some sort of coordination without micromanagement, and therefore this coordination hub is there to support the day-to-day activities of the AWARE initiative, to maintain, to strengthen and further develop the network, and to support the communication with the various partners. and coordinate meetings like this. When I say meetings like this, this is now the second governing board meeting what we have today. And it's maybe good to remind us of what brings us together and what do we want to achieve in the next 80 minutes or so. The governing board is composed of the founding members, countries and international organizations that express their interest to support. And this board and this meeting today will be absolutely critical for us to guide the overall initiative. So the reflection of the excellencies sitting at the head of the table as well on the opposite side here will be very essential for us to really get your guidance on strategic level. Help us to monitor the progress and provide advices on how to accelerate the implementation of the various activities. And then also, how do we coordinate that not many things are done twice and other things never done? So really identify the gaps and look for opportunities that we minimize duplication. Well, some redundancy is certainly necessary, but minimize duplication in terms of efforts, but really identify gaps and look at actions, effective activities, tangible outcomes that we want to achieve through this platform. With this, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Thank you very much, Stefan. And now, on the next agenda item, we have the presentation of the first year highlights since October 2023. And this, I would like to give the floor and the microphone to my colleague, Abdelrahim Yahya, who is the focal point of the Coordination Hub.
Thank you, Nicholas. Good afternoon, Excellencies, colleagues, the representative of the UN Organization on the financing institutions. So I will start very quickly to tackle what has been done through the AWARE since the launch at the COP27. I call it the AWARE journey. On November 2022, we've launched the AWARE with just 5 pages concept note. We were meant at that time to do some actions and some tangible outcomes for the countries. Then at the UN 2023 conference, we were discussing what would be the priority themes, what are the main hot topics that the water community need some capacity development in and project development. And we started discussing what are the top priority themes that would AWARE undertake or tackle. We've gone through the AMCAO General Assembly, where the first or the main delivery mechanism of the AWARE has been dedicated and launched June 2023, whereas the government of Egypt has dedicated its center for the beneficial of this AWARE initiative. In the Cairo Water Week 2023, and a year from now in the past, we discussed with the countries what are the comments on the different work streams. And we took note of the major comments in the wording and the concept, and we try to enhance it and change it in order to accommodate the national priorities for the countries. In the COP29, a gathering of ministers sat together and actually decided that they do some task forces in different topics so that they engage fast and actively in the implementation of some project proposals under the different themes of the initiative. January 2024, the Coordination Hub started the day-to-day activity and liaise with the focal points of the countries, also to offer the opportunities and put some ideas for project proposal and see who's engaged from the countries and who's active, who's responsive, and then proceed with these task forces. Also, the Coordination Hub has a mandate to announce all the training and capacity development opportunity we have through the PACWA. One more task for the Coordination Hub is to tapping the partnerships. We're not limiting ourselves to just our committed UN organizations or just committed organizations, but we are looking for more and more partnership. We're looking to collaborate and synergize with other global initiatives as well. The major concerns of the countries was in some wording in the first work stream that dealing with the decoupling, and then we made it clear that decoupling means at the end it's a water productivity. We produce more or less, and we update that description of this work stream, which is undertaken by the FAO, the rain-fed agriculture dealing with the green water, countries expressed that we need to understand what is green water is, what is the dynamics behind the green water and the soil management. And UNESCO is undertaking a survey in this work stream, and many countries have responded. And we will listen to the leads, supporters, to describe what they have did so far and what is the way forward on each of the work streams. Some others leads, UNDP is leading number 4, and it's leading one priority topic on this health for food, and we will listen what they are doing on that regard. The WMO is leading the 5th work stream that is complementing the early warning system for all initiative, and we're focusing on enhancing the coordination between the MET and hydro services for the benefit of the countries. So what we're seeking, I would summarize again what His Excellency, the Minister of Water in Egypt mentioned, that we see through the journey that we have challenges. On top of the challenges, the lack of technical capacities in the developing countries. In addition to this, they might have the needs, but they couldn't express the needs in papers, and they couldn't make it a fundable or a bankable project. That's why we're bringing all the sides of the equation together to help the countries in proposing projects, go for funding together. What we're doing as an effort, we're setting high targets of trainees, and I believe we will have another presentation from my colleague, Professor Salwa, here to talk about what's the plan in the PACWA in the next years. And we actually devoting our time for increasing the engagement of the countries through the focal points that are assigned from each country, so that to form that working groups and task forces. So at the end, AWARE is a collaborative platform. We're not talking about legal binding agreement or something like that, but it's a collaborative platform to increase the engagement of countries in order to reach one goal, how to increase the number of project proposals and funded projects for the countries. Last, we have the AWARE. We started the coordination hub. The first mean of implementation is the capacity development through the PACWA. I'm trying to summarize all what I said in one slide here. We have that PACWA, and this is for all African and developing countries. We're extending the trainings for all African and developing countries. Second mean of implementation, that's the coordinated finance, and this through the establishment of working groups and task forces. And we have here 30 countries engaged and prioritize some topics so that we would reach out with them and start formulating the task force based on similar challenges and similar needs. At the end, this is the formula that we reach, and it has proven success during the past months. We have a work stream. We go for a priority topic identified by some of the countries, and we gather these countries through the AWARE Coordination Hub. We look for the lead or supporting agency along with another knowledge partner, and then we go for a task force together, and it's a collective work for the fundraising. So in order to fundraise, this is a commitment from the countries, from a supporting organization, from the coordination hub that undertake the day-to-day activities, and all together collectively we go for the fundraising processes. I'll stop here and thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Yahya, and you will soon have the opportunity to ask some questions. But before that, I would like to give the floor to Professor Salva, the chair of PACWA, to present on the PACWA's work. Professor, the floor is yours.
I would like to introduce my presentation about PACWA training plan. A regional training center was established since 40 years to support the Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation water policy and strategy. And also in the international level, 22 years under the UNESCO, through agreement with the UNESCO to be category 2 center to support UNESCO objective framework in region. And also BACWA, Pan African Center for Climate, Water and Adaptation, as a part of international water sector adaptation initiative aware that established during COP27 to be a hub. We have the infrastructure and the facilities in African nation. We have 8 training classroom with several capacity and the conference room with 300 participants and final 5 technical laboratory include water quality, soil mechanics, hydraulic, material and concrete, water resources management, and also we have a smart irrigation farm as a pilot project on-job training course to implement on-job, 5 computer labs, and also we have 1 AI computer. And media units to produce offline training courses, all training program with high quality. And we have 3 hotels with capacity 187 rooms, swimming pools, 2 restaurants, playground. BACWA focus on aware themes. The first themes increase water productivity. The second, rain-fed agriculture, soil management, understanding of green water. The third, cooperative analysis of river basin skills, adaptation and mitigation. Number 4, the work stream, non-conventional water resources. 5, improve the early warning system, which include the weather, flood, drought. And finally, the 6, the link between the water resources policy with the national climate action. Training need assessment was carried out through 3 ways. The first way by surveying completed by trainees who attend our training program from 2015 up to now. As we show, in 2024, the number of participants increased, maybe comparing with 2023, due to the development of the training program of BACWA. The second way is the feedback collected during our field mission across the various our different African countries, and also another TNA for updating the need early 2024 by QR code or by emails who attend the trainees who attend the training program and also not attend. The training need assessment was conducted across 41 African countries, most of them from Western Africa and Eastern Africa. That is the percentage of response, including the work stream, the 6 work stream. That is the 4 example only. So, as a result of the TNA, 36 training programs were identified, and for diploma, each work stream include several programs. For example, work stream number 1 include 5 programs, number 2 include 6 programs, 3 and also 3, 4, 5, and 6 related this program related to the topic of the work stream. During the year 2024, there are 12 training programs were implemented under BACWA, maybe about more than 200 trainees with collaboration with different entities. And also during the next months, maybe until the end of November, 6 programs are planned to implement by BACWA. The collaboration with the partner through 2024 with BACWA, the UNESCO, Egyptian Agency of the Partnership for Development, Siam Bari, Nile Water Sector, African Union, League of Arab States, AUC, through the Sea Clear project, and JICA. The future training program for BACWA divided into 2 parts. The first part aimed to implement the training program on a monthly basis over the 3 years, 36 program targeting 1,000 trainees. And already BACWA organized 2 professional diploma in the field of geographic information system and in the field of integrated water resources management and irrigation, and plan to organize another 2 diploma in the field of hydrology and surveying. The second future planning with the AUC through the Sea Clear project, that the cooperation between the AUC and the Sea Clear through the Sea Clear project with BACWA will train about 2,000 African trainees over the next 3 years. The program will implement physically workshops and online. Finally, the conclusion, we can conclude that the training plan reflects the center commitment to address the African water and the climate challenges by providing high-quality, need-driven training programs that are aligned with the objective of AWARE initiative, and also aim to build a capacity of African professionals and enhance their ability to implement sustainable solutions for water and climate adaptation in their respective countries. And also, BACWA hope or aim to establish a partner with the universities to ensure that these professional diploma are accredited, that is the academic diploma, not professional diploma, and stand ready for collaboration with the UN agency and the knowledge partners of the AWARE for effective program implementation. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Salva, for presenting us the potential of PACWA and what PACWA is doing and what the future activities will be, capacity development being really one of the priorities in the African country. And so this was the presentation of the first implementation mechanism of the 2 that the AWARE platform has. Like we presented before, one is the capacity development, and the second is the formulation of joint projects and programs to unlock financing. I actually would like to now give the opportunity first maybe to ministers or representatives of countries who cannot stay with us throughout the whole period, if they would like to already reflect now, give some comments and also reflect on your needs of your countries. Otherwise, if you want to stay a little longer, we can hear now to the second part first on the second track of the formulation of joint projects and programs and to unlock finance, and you can reflect afterwards as well. So whatever your schedule permits, we can have another 15 minutes, 20 minutes by leading countries, leading UN entities, or you can intervene now. You can just raise your hand to reflect. Yeah. Your Excellency, the Minister of Sudan, please, the floor is yours.
Bismillah, salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. You know that Sudan is highly affected by the war that is still going on. And in this regard, a lot of our infrastructure is highly affected. And displacement took place for the government, the universities and institutes and all the important things. For this, we expect that to get support for the training capacity of the personnel in Sudan, for capacity building to cover the water resources, sanitation, irrigation areas, as well as the groundwater. We need highly training for these areas, for the engineers and technicians, for the capacity building covering water resources, sanitation, irrigation areas, as well as groundwater. And also we face problems. We need also control stations that for the seasonal rivers, for rainwater, and for a lot of things that we really, most of them are severely damaged. And also we need at least one central laboratory for water quality that we really need of this such thing, because we have a lot of laboratories already been damaged in Khartoum and other big cities. And also that we need support for the early warning, especially that climate change starts already that implemented in our areas. In the south, that we have a lot of agricultural area really affected by this climate change. We expect that this support, some support from the donors. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Yes, as I said, we secured funding for training 3,000 different professionals from all the African countries, and we are going to consider seriously your requests and also what came out of the needs analysis. I think most of the topics Your Excellency mentioned are covered, but also we as a government committed to help the government of Sudan during the war phase, at least, of what deteriorated, and we had already meeting and we discussed this. But of course, the full support you will get from us in the infrastructure story, but in the training through the AWARE and the BACWA, I think that's the easy part for the capacity building, because funding is secured and we are just need to have who are the candidates in order to invite them for training or to have the training online, or they can come physically. All these options are available. But I think also His Excellency, the Minister of Water in Iraq, would like to comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm going to speak in Arabic. بالبدء أنا أقدم شكري الجزيل، شكري للعاملين على هذه المبادرة، وخاصة الأشقاء في مصر لجهودهم الواضحة في هذا المجال. الواقع المبادرة ولدت فتية، إلا أنها نمت بشكل واضح وكان لها أثر لانعكاس ما ورد فيها على واقع حال العديد من الدول اللي تعاني من مشكلة التغيرات المناخية بشكل حاد. وكما تعلمون العراق من أكثر الدول هشاشة في مواجهة التغيرات المناخية. الحقيقة تكرار سنوات الجفاف كانت بمعدل 2 وتأتي سنة رطبة، لكن حالياً توسعت بحيث أصبح لدينا 4 سنوات جفاف متتالية. طبعاً هذا تحدي كبير لنا والمتصدين لإدارة الموارد المائية، وكان لها تأثير واضح على العديد من الفعاليات في مناطقنا، وخاصة في مجال الزراعة، تقلص مساحات زراعية واسعة، زيادة التصحر. أيضا كان هناك تأثير كبير على أهوار جنوب العراق. حسب ما تعلمون هذه الأهوار الواقع دخلت ضمن لائحة التراث العالمي لمنظمة اليونسكو، وهناك متطلبات يجب أن نؤمنها لكون هناك مجتمعات قائمة تعتاش على هذه المناطق. للأسف النقص الحاد في وارداتنا المائية أثر بشكل سلبي وحاد ومؤثر على هذه المناطق، سببت إلى هجرة بعض سكنت هذه المناطق إلى مناطق أخرى. أيضا نعم، كان هناك تأثير واضح على كافة مستخدمي المياه، طبعا حتى على تأمين أحيانا مياه الشرب والاستخدامات البشرية. عموما هذه الحالة بدت يعني مؤثرة جدا، لكن هناك بعض الإجراءات للتكيف مع هذه الحالة. لربما مبادرة أوير هي وسيلة أو أسس نقدر نعتمدها في تطوير يعني أساليب التكيف بما ينسجم مع مقاومة حالات الجفاف الحادة اللي نعاني منها بشكل شديد في هذه السنوات الأخيرة. طبعا للأسف هو كما تعلمون العراق دولة مصب، الأمطار فيها قليلة، هناك تشابه كبير بين حالة العراق وحالة في مصر شقيقة. لهذه الأسباب مجتمعة هناك توافق أو أحيانا تطابق في طبيعة المشاكل، لكن هناك جهود تبذل أيضا من أجل معالجتها ومن أجل حسمها بما يخدم إدارة هذا المورد ولو كان قليل بشكل أفضل وبشكل الأمثل. وشكرا جزيلا.
Thank you very much. I have seen that some of the participants didn't catch so I can just provide a summary if you allow me. His Excellency started by thanking Egypt for the effort in the AWARE initiative, and he said it was born strong and moving fast. And also, he mentioned that Iraq is one of the vulnerable countries, most vulnerable countries to climate change, especially the drought over the last 4 years has been affecting different communities. It had impact on the drought, on shrinking the agriculture area in the country, but also impacting the valleys and protected areas or the heritage, the UNESCO heritage areas, and also caused the migration for the local communities because of the drought in this area or these areas. And also he also mentioned that adaptation to climate change is one of the important topics for Iraq to cope with the severe impact of climate change, and that's why AWARE initiative is very important for Iraq. Also, Iraq is a downstream country similar to the case of Egypt, and that makes our efforts should be coordinated, and we are really coordinating together the efforts to cope with any impact that might happen on the downstream countries. And he's looking forward for further cooperation under the AWARE initiative.
Thank you very much, ministers, and thank you very much, Mr. Svelam, for the short summary. And I think this is exactly what the platform is there, and thank you for really sharing your challenges, your priorities in the country, and we have, I think, the right partners on board in the initiative who can help you with these priorities and overcome these challenges. Minister from Nigeria, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Excellencies and colleagues. I bring you greetings from the government and good people of Nigeria. My name is Engineer Professor Joseph Telumu Tsev, the Honorable Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation, Nigeria. I want to sincerely thank the government of Egypt for this hosting, in particular the Honorable Minister for Water Resources and Irrigation for this wonderful initiative. I want to appreciate the co-sponsors of this program and all our development partners that have been supporting this initiative. We from Nigeria, we have been enjoying the participation of our country in this our initiative. It has helped us so much in various ways, like construction of dams. We have actually gone in the improvement of our irrigation facilities and also water supply. But there are areas that we want to scale up, like areas of floods and drought management is very critical to our country, Nigeria, and we are looking forward to upscale this, as it will not only provide more of our irrigable lands, but also provide the opportunity to scale up our agricultural enhancement. The second issue that we want to scale up is issue of provision of hydrometeorological services equipment. That will also help our country because it will help us in improving the decision-making under the AWARE initiative. Last but not the least, what we also want to scale up, and we are believing that this participation will also help us, is in the area of capacity building. Very, very important for us. We have the manpower that we need to scale up our capacity building in order to help us improve on this particular initiative. We thank each and every person that have participated and has contributed to make us to be where we are today, and we are believing that as we get back to Nigeria, we have something to take home. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Okay, if you allow me, I would move on, and like I mentioned before, you can still intervene after maybe this second part of the number 2 track of the implementation mechanism of the AWARE initiative. And I saw our leading implementing partners taking a lot of notes now when you intervened. And I'm sure they're going to reflect now on your interventions, but also tell us a little bit more about the advancements since last year and what happened. I would like to start with FAO, who is supporting or leading the support in the increasing water productivity, to give us an update.
Thank you, colleague. Your Excellency, Dr. Hani Swalem, Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation of Egypt, which is the initiator of this very important initiative on the action on adaptation and resilience for water. I would like, before I get into what we are doing as FAO in this particular work stream under this initiative, to highlight some of the key principles and maybe some of the background, since I've been involved in the very early days of the thoughts putting together. I think it's very important to recall that this is not an Egyptian initiative. So it's not an initiative that concerns Egypt. It is something that we're all grateful for Egypt to taking the lead during their presidency of COP27 to come up with it, which reflects the actual needs mainly in the African continent, but also in the wider water-scarce Arab region. And to capitalize on that particular moment of COP27 and bring this to the top agenda of the Conference of Parties of COP27 when Egypt was leading the presidency, I think that's a major shift, because that's one of the few times at COP where we saw water comes up at the top agenda of the COP discussions. Same as food, and we are, as FAO, also hosting the coordination hub for the FAST, another initiative for food and agriculture transformation that was also led by the Egyptian presidency. So we're very well aware of the process. But this process, for it to succeed, if we all agree that this is taken on behalf of the countries that are more vulnerable for the climate change and water resources in the future, and the need for adaptation and resilience, is to really come together. We as UN agencies, and I speak here on behalf of my colleagues, take the will to provide some sustainable support for the knowledge, technical support, and provide a neutral platform for the countries to meet and interact with their details, which is very essential for this nature of initiatives. However, this will not succeed without the support of the member states. So we need more and more engagement, and Dr. Hani specifically, you need more donors as well as beneficiaries, so that we get together from the north and the south and try to move in this very important agenda forward. Action is the first word of AWARE, and we really need to focus on action. I don't think training, we've seen this, it's very important, it's essential, and thank you, Dr. Salwa, for the center initiative, and maybe the different work streams will be providing the needs for training, but that's only one element. We need to focus on action. One last point, Dr. Hani Swalem, and this concerns all the AWARE governing board, is to really ensure that this AWARE continues on the previous COPs. We can't afford starting an initiative, it dies away, and then another initiative comes out. I recall in the early discussion with the Egyptian presidency, they even avoided to link it to Egypt. So they didn't want to call it Cairo Initiative or Egypt Initiative, gave it that neutrality that carries the concerns of the member states in Africa and the region. So this should be something that we should all be continuing in a joint efforts to carry on the coming COPs, so that we can make sure that this agenda will continue to grow. On the work stream one, we've developed the concept paper, or the concept note, which was presented at the steering committee in their meeting in the 10th World Water Forum in Bali. And that's where, as Abdurrahim mentioned, we reformulated the work stream one to focus on water productivity, and His Excellency Minister Hani has also confirmed, which is in full alignment with the water use efficiency as stipulated in SDG 6.4.1. We look for, as we just received the details of the focal points from all the participating countries, to reconvene the task force next month, and then be able to submit to the steering committee a full action plan early next year, inshallah. Thank you for the hosting, and we assure you from FAO for our continued support.
Thank you very much, FAO, for your leading support in increasing the water productivity. I would now like to give the floor to UNESCO, who is leading the work stream, or leading the implementation of work stream 2 on increasing the efficiency of rain-fed agriculture and soil management. Yeah.
Can we have the presentation, please? Thank you. Next slide, please. Is there a remote? Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, first of all, I'm honored to be here with you, and I'd like to convey greetings from our regional director, Dr. Nuria Sanz. She would have liked to be here, but unfortunately she could not be here today with us. I also convey greetings from the director of the Water Division at UNESCO headquarters, Dr. Abu Amani, and Secretary of UNESCO Intergovernmental Hydrological Program. As you know, UNESCO has agreed to UNESCO has agreed to work with AWARE and to partner with the AWARE initiative on the Green Water, or Theme 2. And in that regard, the way we viewed it, exactly as was described by Professor Salwa, which says it's soil, management, it's water management, it's rain-fed farming management, as well as it is rangeland management for many of the countries in Africa and in the region. So we started by looking at member state needs. And I really must say that I appreciate the help and support we received from the hub in Geneva, because they were, working with us day in, day out to work with the member state on getting those who say they are interested in that particular theme area. So we constructed jointly with our colleagues at headquarters, as well as with the Secretariat of AWARE, the hub of AWARE, a survey. We initially started the survey with a certain time, but as member states started coming more and more to become interested in AWARE, we decided to leave the survey open, so at any point in time we can update it with any member state that decides to join, and they can always be pointed to the survey, take it, provide their details on member. Survey was basically divided into areas. First of all, the standard boilerplate focal point information, who is responding, what agency they are from, and all of that. And we are requesting only one survey per country, so that we don't really get into the details about each agency requirement, because that will be a next stage later on. Second thing, about understanding what the national water management strategy at the country, how is it related to climate change and how other issues like that. And the third thing, we need to know about the country's integrated water resources management. And more importantly is also the issue of the data and information the country has at the moment. We did not ask for data. We never asked any country to provide data. What we asked the country, what data you have? Do you have this data? Do you have this data? Do you have this data? In order to assess the readiness level of starting to work with management, with monitoring, and with working with the green water and soil moisture and all of these issues again. Then finally, we came to ask about the national priority in terms of capacity building, and within certain, first of all, the free form in terms of the countries deciding on their priorities, and then moved on to some areas that we thought will be supporting to green water work. So we had 18 countries responding. We hope that the number to increase. Of the 18 countries, 17 were directly government agencies, I mean executive level agencies, ministries, and we had one country where the response came from a national legislature. I'm not going to go through all the questions. There were 42 questions. I can take too long for the time allotted to me. We asked, for example, does the country have access to drought monitoring system? And we found that almost out of the 18, 8 countries did not. And the remaining countries had access to drought monitoring system. At the national, 3 countries. At the national and subnational level, 3 countries. National, subnational, and watershed level, we had 4 countries had. So a majority of the countries, as countries, there are still 8 countries that do not have drought monitoring system, which is something that we can look into as we start looking at the early warning system and issues like that as we try to develop capacity building and other things. In order to try to understand also the country's capacity to do early warning, it wasn't just green water, but it was also many other things. We looked at the type of rainfall data the countries had. So we asked them what type of stations you have. We didn't ask for the number of stations, location of station, or any data of the station. Just tell us what kind of rainfall gauges you have in the country. So we found that the majority of the countries have only daily and hourly. Either daily only, we had about 5 countries, hourly only, we had 1 country, hourly and daily, we had 7 countries, and the number of countries that have instantaneous data is much minimal. Even though if you look at one country, we had only 1 country that has instantaneous and hourly, which means that they can construct any type of forecasting they want to look at, or any hydrologic modeling and early warning system, particularly with respect to flash flood. So some of this data will be important not only for the green water, but also for other parts of AWARE initiative. And I apologize, I'm taking a bit longer time, but then we went to ask the country if the country utilized rainfall estimate of precipitation to see exactly to fill in the gap if they don't have the data. Because there are some rainfall data that UNESCO is engaged in, and some of our centers, and as we'll see, we have quite few of these capacities that we call knowledge partners, as exactly described in the AWARE initiative. So we found that a majority of the countries, 11 countries, do not have that. and out, and 7 countries only have access to remote sensing observation of rainfall, which is very important for some flash floods. Then we looked at the countries' availability of other ancillary data that will be important: soil data, topography data, land cover, land use, crop data, and all of that. That was better, because in this case, we found that many of the countries, we had 9 countries that had all of the data type that we felt essential or crucial to start working with the type of hydrologic modeling one requires. And we found, and this is the distribution of the countries. I'm not going to dwell too much on this slide because time. Then we went into and asked, of course, these are just snippet of the questions, because there were 42 questions. And some questions where you answered yes or we, there is a following up question to say, please tell us the document, tell us something on that. Then we went into the finally, what the country has remote sensing of soil moisture. We also found that the majority don't. And some of the countries, 8 of the country, do. So this is an area that could be utilized in order to develop training and all of that. National plan for protecting ecosystem. Now we are going back to areas. So all of this information is available, and we will make it clear. Now, we asked the countries then to name 3 top priorities. So this is the number 1 priority for countries. Some of them, the number 1 priority is several things. And this doesn't mean just capacity building. The countries may need support working on a project, maybe establishing a pilot study, or establishing the details will be there, and we will share it through a report with the AWARE Secretariat and with any member state who will be interested in that as well. Finally, when we started asking, the last question is, we now put in, how can remote sensing help? So we said, okay, these are areas that focus mostly on remote sensing and then on water resources management. So these are generalized area. Rainfall estimation, remote sensing, soil moisture estimation, remote sensing estimation of biophysical parameters such as leaf area index. All of these are important for range management, water management, farm management, and all of that. And we looked at that and we found out that out of the 6 areas that we listed, that was very interesting, because 8 of the country want training or support, no, I wouldn't say training, capacity support or support in all 6 areas. We had 6 countries wanting in 5, only 3 countries wanting in 3, and only 1 country wanting in 2. So where do we go from there? Next step for us is, first of all, to do detailed national level analysis where we present a national report, very brief report, a couple of pages report saying this is the status we understand from the country, will be shared directly with the country in order to start discussion with the country about possible national type activity and possible national type project. Then we definitely will have to communicate very thoroughly and spend some real solid time with our colleagues at PACWA as well as with colleagues from other centers. We have here with us the director of one of our centers in Japan, Professor Toshikoke, the Center for the Disaster Management. We have also the center from the US, also Integrated Water Resource Management. We will start talking to the 3 centers and other centers and chairs in order to develop the curricula related to that. Then, of course, we try to develop national project resource mobilization plan as well as regional training project mobilization plan, identify existing training together with PACWA and other centers, and development of joint project. And thank you so much for indulging me more than the time I'm allowed to.
Thank you very much, UNESCO. And without further ado, I would like to give the floor to UNDP, who is leading Workstream 4 on non-conventional water and water-wise energy pathways.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. It's really a wonderful pleasure to be here with all of you today. I'd like to start by thanking our dear Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation for leading the AWARE initiative, which is a key outcome of COP27, as well as a very important initiative for guiding us into the future. I'm pleased to confirm that UNDP has full support for the AWARE initiative, particularly in the area of climate change mitigation and adaptation technologies. Together with the Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation, as well as other colleagues in country offices across Northern Africa, we're designing a regional project focused on solar-powered desalination for irrigation. This project is vital for climate change adaptation in this region, as well as other regions once we've tested and trialed it here. Solar power desalination is more than just a technology. It represents a critical solution to the severe water scarcity challenges we face, not only in this region, but in regions around the world, and especially in small island developing states. As climate change continues to impact weather patterns and water availability, innovative solutions like this become increasingly important, especially as we also work to care for our environment. This technology not only provides an alternative water resource, but also aligns with sustainable practices in agriculture and irrigation, and as we are moving forward in environmental protection and sustainable development. By harnessing solar energy, we can reduce our dependence on fossil fuels while ensuring that our farmers around the world have the access to the water they need to grow the food sustainably that we all depend upon. The importance of this technology cannot be overstated. It directly addresses the pressing issue of water scarcity while playing a key role in the water, energy, food ecosystem nexus. By integrating solar power desalination into our agricultural practices, we can enhance food security, water security, and promote sustainable development in this region and beyond. I am also happy to share that several Arab states, including Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, and Jordan, have expressed interest in joining this initiative with us, and we welcome their participation. UNDP is actively working on the project design and has reached out to development partners and international financing institutions for support in research, pilot projects, and future investments, and we continue to do so. I invite you to attend a high-level panel organized by UNDP and Canada's International Development Research Centre, IDRC, on October 15th, 2024 at 11:30 a.m. That will be here. These events will showcase case studies from both developed and developing countries on solar-powered desalination for irrigation. These case studies will highlight the immense potential of this technology for replication and our region and beyond, demonstrating how we can turn challenges into opportunities. I encourage all development partners here today to join us in this initiative. Strong partnerships are essential for effective climate action, especially around water. And by collaborating, we can support more farmers and achieve better climate outcomes faster. I want to switch hats for just a minute, and on behalf of the UN Water, which is the coordinating body for all the UN organizations working on water across the UN, we are currently working on our system-wide strategy for water and sanitation. And this is to unite all of the organizations to work together on issues around water availability, water quality, and water security. I want to thank everyone here for giving us a wonderful example of a collaborative action where we have FAO and UNESCO and WMO and UNDP and many other colleagues from the United Nations coming together, as we should be, working to help countries meet the demands for fresh water. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, UNDP. And now I would like to give the floor to WMO on workstream number 5, early warning systems for hydrological hazards. And then I'll give the floor back to the ministers for any questions and reflections.
First, I would like to say that it's about really end-to-end early warning system. It's not only the hydrological part of flood forecasting, but it's really from understanding risks, from monitoring observations, to modeling and forecasting, all the way to communicate also with our forecasting systems and communicating that effectively to the society to trigger either preventive action or even trigger activities that minimize risk in the first place. It's really along that whole chain. In this work stream number 5, we are concentrating on hydrological hazards, particularly on floods and droughts. The early warning system framework is the number one priority our member states want WMO to focus on anyhow, but here really the focus is on floods and droughts, particularly in Africa and the MENA region. What has happened? So a number of events were happening in Bali, and we were a forum at the COP, and here a year ago at Cairo Water Week, etc. Official events, but also most importantly is usually coffee breaks in conferences, as you know. So many of the kind of informal talks led to consistent follow-up. By now, 22 countries really expressed their interest to engage in this early warning system activity for floods and droughts. These are all countries from the Middle East and Africa. We're also very happy that Japan expressed very much support to providing their technical expertise to strengthen the early warning systems activity. What are the next steps? Currently, we are engaging with these 22 countries as well as with other knowledge partners and colleagues, hopefully donors as well. They speak in a minute. And we are engaging in co-developing concept notes for concrete, tangible funding activities. Therefore, all the countries we want to follow, we call that NCAT, that's a national capacity assessment tool that WMO developed over the years. And in a consistent way to very carefully analyze what are the priority hazards, what are the key capacity gaps in terms of management, monitoring, governance, etc., related to floods and droughts. So this standardized tool to assess the capacity and then to co-create and tailor to the activity, to the needs of the countries that hopefully the right proposal. This is happening at this very moment, and we hope to submit funding proposals for the next years. Partners are most welcome and needed. With this, we hope to have already a consistent way of assessing the capacity of countries, having a tailor-made approach to really address the needs. To strengthen hydrological services, as I would say to say that, but I like to say that, but we really believe it is the hydrological service in the combination with the other key stakeholders. Working for the World Meteorological Organization, it's particularly the link between meteorological service and hydrological service that really needs to work very closely together. And particularly for flood forecasting and drought management, this is critical. But then there's all the other stakeholders related to environment, navigation, irrigation, WASH, etc., that need to come on board. Last point. As I said before, early warning systems and further developing and implementing early warning systems is a number one priority for us at the WMO. We have a number of programs and initiatives already which we really offer AWARE or want to further development and use them, that AWARE can take advantage of them, including the associated program for flood management, the integrated drought monitoring and management program. Both are done together with CWP. But we have further other programs, flash flood guidance system in some 70+ countries, Hydro-SOS, so hydrological status and outlook system in some 60+ countries we are currently developing. And we have a help desk that we offer the countries to address their needs to us, to make sure that we jointly address them. Maybe this is where we are, and I'm looking forward to the progress in the coming months. Thank you.
Thank you very much to WMO. Okay, I would now like to give the floor to the countries, back to the countries. If you have any questions, reflections on what has just been presented and how you would like to engage with them. Give the floor to Japan.
Thank you, Chairman. Your Excellency Professor Han Sui-ram, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Saito. I'm Secretary General of Water Cycle Policy of Japan. I would like to appreciate the great progress of the AWARE initiative, which was declared at COP27 2 years ago and launched at COP28 last year. As expressed by Mr. Konami here at COP28 in Dubai last year, the government of Japan, in cooperation with the WMO, would like to support this initiative in terms of science and technology and capacity development with regard to work stream 5 on early warning system. In addition, specifically, I have been informed that Professor Koike Toshio, Director of ICHAM, is working with UNESCO on green water, and that Mr. Konami has already begun coordination with the WMO through discussion on early warning system. I believe that Japan can contribute through the use of satellite data and the creation of flood risk maps. I hope we can have a concrete and further discussion at the Japan-Egypt technical meeting later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Japan.
Just comment. I just would like to thank very much the government of Japan for the great support, not only in the AWARE initiative, was one of the first countries that supported Japan, the AWARE initiative is Japan. And I also would like to thank Japan for the very productive collaboration in the ID3 or the interactive dialogue number 3. I think together with Egyptian government, we have done a lot to position water at the heart of climate action. And AWARE is a very small step in all the steps that we did together in the UN Water Conference in last year, and also the UN Water Conference, the coming one. We are already preparing for this. So I thank again the government of Japan for the support.
Thank you very much. Any other reflection from country representatives? Maybe after we give the floor to our colleague from the World Bank Group to maybe reflect on how the World Bank Group sees the potential to collaborate with AWARE, possible entry points, your perspectives on the initiatives. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Chris Fischer. I'm Senior Water Specialist based here in Cairo. I represent the Global Director, Saroj Shah, who would have loved to be here in person, but unfortunately yesterday his plane from Washington didn't leave. But he has high interest in this initiative. We are very thankful for this update of the progress made, and congratulations to the impressive progress you made, especially in the capacity building. The objectives of the AWARE initiative are very much in line with World Bank strategy and also in line with the strategy and the priorities of the World Bank of the water strategy. We will continue to review this and with much interest, and we will continue to look for ways for future collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, World Bank Group, for your reflections and your interest in the AWARE initiative. I will always look around and see if I see any hand up from a country representative, and I see the first one from Sierra Leone. Please, sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. My name is Musa Shiakab, Performance Tracking Manager in the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, and focal person for the AWARE initiative, representing the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation of Sierra Leone, who is unavoidably absent owing to another engagement of equal importance. We are very much privileged to be in Sharm el-Sheikh when this initiative was launched. And we owe this to the astute leadership of the Egyptian Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation, Professor Serilam. And because of our belief in the aspirations of this initiative, that is why Sierra Leone subscribed to all 6 work streams. In the area of capacity development, we have benefited immensely. We have most of our technical staff at Pakwa, and as I'm speaking, we have one presently undergoing training. They were here today for the opening ceremony with other colleagues from other African countries. And in line with the initiative, we have received support from the World Bank to develop what we call a national wash development program for Sierra Leone, because we have observed that interventions are fragmented in the wash sector, and of course the sector is under-resourced. So for us to have a comprehensive approach, the World Bank is supporting us to develop this program, and key elements of the work streams of our initiative will be taken on board. And also, to speak to work stream 6, we are aligning our wash policy to the national climate strategy of the country. And as I'm speaking, we are on the verge of reviewing our wash policy. So we have other issues which I will not state here. I will take it up with the Secretariat of the Area Initiative bilaterally. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Hello, hello. This one is not working. Okay, thank you very much, Sierra Leone, for taking the floor and sharing your positive experience through the AWARE initiative and beyond. Maybe we have really just a few more minutes, and I'll be giving the floor to the Minister for the closing remarks in maybe one minute. And if any other partner would like to quickly reflect on what they have heard, they would now have the opportunity. I see no other country representatives having their hand up, so it would be now your opportunity. Otherwise, I'll give the floor to the Minister for the closing remarks. FAO, again, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. It's just a quick note. I've seen the different action plans or proposals from the different work streams. We lead up to the same thing where we do resource mobilization together with the country. First is, I don't think we should burden or overburden Egypt as the only thing. They're taking the lead, and they will continue doing this on behalf of the other countries, and we need to work together. But looking forward, if we approach the donors on a work stream basis, this might not be sustainable. Maybe through the steering committee, Dr. Hani, we need to see how we can structure ourselves, identify the needs of the work streams, but then we go as AWARE for resource mobilization, so the donors also are not so much confused into where, which goes where, into which line, but look at the whole initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very important points, and I'll give the word to UNDP, and then we go to the closing.
Absolutely. I would love to second what my colleague from FAO said about coordination as we go forward. On this, I also want to just say a special thanks, because one of the things human beings do really well is we learn from one another. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity to learn best practices for what works in Nigeria that could work in Malawi, or what works in Japan that could work in Iraq. And this is a really wonderful opportunity to see that UNDP is very excited about helping with those best practices and exchanges. And again, thank you.
Thank you very much, UNDP. And I think Kryda wanted to have the last word.
Oh, the last word. My name is Will Logan, and I work with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Institute for Water Resources. And I just wanted to say a few words about climate risk-informed decision analysis, or CRIDA, and how we plan to work together with AWARE. And CRIDA it's a framework for water planning and management, especially when the uncertainties are high with respect to climate change and other factors as well. So we co-published this with UNESCO's Intergovernmental Hydrological Program back in 2018. And we've been applying this all around the world in at least 20 countries. What I'd like to say is that it's a very collaborative and can fit in very well and can be very supportive of AWARE. And as a matter of fact, in the last council meeting of the Intergovernmental Hydrological Council in June, we asked to raise CRIDA to a flagship initiative. That is one of the major water initiatives of UNESCO. And as part of that, the member states asked us to work closely with AWARE and to see if we can have our two initiatives work together. And we'd like to very much do that. And this is a great opportunity for sidebar conversations with those of you who are interested. So with that said, we're very supportive of AWARE and hope to be working together, especially in Africa, along with the Pakwa Center there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, very good final words from the participants, because actually AWARE is a platform where we would like to synergize and work together with other initiatives, and I think CRIDA is a good example of that. So now, indeed, please, the floor is yours, Your Excellency.
For the intervention and the very valuable comments. I think the commitment is clear from our partners. The presence of the big UN agencies here and the World Bank and the different governments shows the commitment to work together and collaborate. I think the two tracks are clear. One is for the capacity building, and we identified the needs. We started the implementation. We already secured and mobilized funding. I'm not very worried and not worried at all about the capacity building track. The second track is clustering the countries and identifying the needs of each region and bringing the countries together with one of the coordinating bodies in order to mobilize funds for actions on the ground. Actions on the ground could be adaptation projects, infrastructure projects, any type of projects that can be directly implemented on the ground. And I know some UN agencies are already in the kitchen preparing something together for different regions, but I leave them to speak about them. And I'm very optimistic that this is going to be clear in the next meeting, what's going to happen in which region, which type of projects or proposals. And we heard the needs of the different countries. They are very similar, and the solutions could be a kind of shared knowledge and bringing the knowledge together to have a clear and understandable approaches for solving and adaptation to climate change. So I think I'm moving from here to with more confidence that we are on the right track. As Dr. Elwire said, I think this is a very good, valid point. I'm going to take it into consideration. The idea from the beginning was it is a global initiative that is launched in Egypt. It's not an Egyptian initiative, and we wanted to step back. We wanted to have a steering committee so that the steering committee can take it further and sustain it. But of course, you need to identify what are the challenges, who is doing what in which region. But this might take some time because, as I said, for the actions on the ground, the coordinating bodies are now working with the countries to cluster different problems for different regions and then move for mobilizing funding. So hopefully in the coming meeting, the picture will be a little bit clearer in terms of this point. I thank the partners, the FAO, the UNDP, the WMO, and the UNESCO, as well as the World Bank, and we very welcoming any type of collaboration with the World Bank. We have a very good relation with the Cairo office, but also the headquarters. And I thank all the governments who are present here and the partners, the developing partners, some. But I have to thank the WMO for thank the WMO for hosting the coordination body in Geneva. And I have to thank my colleagues and team, Abdulrahim, Dr. Salwa, for their great effort. If you have any question and you have any issue, you need to contact Abdulrahim or blame him for any thing that went wrong. But thank you very much, Abdulrahim, for the effort you are doing, and thank you all, and wishing and looking forward to meet you in the next meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The meeting is closed.